Aloha. You're watching F5 On Demand. I'm Peter Silva, Technical Marketing Manager with F5, and we're here in Times Square, Manhattan for F5's 2012 Agility Conference. And we're fortunate to meet with Andy Voltmer, who's a product manager with Infoblox. So thanks for joining us, Andy.
Thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. We're excited to be here. Infoblox is an F5 partner, technology front, and it's been a great show so far.
And so for those of our audience who might not be aware of Infoblox, can you let us know a little bit about Infoblox and what you guys do?
Sure. We are a DNS, DHCP, and IPAM company. We also do network configuration change management and automation network control.
And so in our BigIP Global Traffic Manager, it does a number of DNS services, and you guys are experts in DNS. So can you tell us a little bit about how our two solutions work together?
Yeah, we've had a great integration over the last couple of years. We allow for the ability to do one-button DNSSEC zone signing with integration to the GTM for globally load-balanced DNSSEC sign zones.
And so over the last couple of years with the proliferation of mobile devices, the explosion of all of these devices getting on the internet, it seems like DNS has become even more important to the survival, not the survival, but the functionality of the internet. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Smartphones, mobile devices like iPads, we really see an uptick in the number of IP addresses the typical person has, including how much traffic they generate on the internet. So where you may have in the past had a relatively dumb phone that never did any DNS lookups, now an iPhone or some device like that might do several hundred lookups just by booting up.
And even with DNSSEC, some of our audience might not be aware of DNSSEC. They might have heard of it in the news. Can you go a little bit more about the importance of DNSSEC?
Right. Well, it's critical that you trust the lookups that you make using DNS. And DNSSEC allows you to validate that the person who is giving you the answer to your DNS lookup is who it should be coming from. And to do that is critical, particularly in a banking situation where you want to be sure that you're finding the information from your bank and not somebody who's hacked your account or something like that.
And so in those hack situations, the spoofing situations, the DNS cache poisoning and such, and in that situation you'd put in a domain name and actually get redirected to another site that looks exactly like the site you expect, but you're actually going to a malicious server.
Right. Without DNSSEC, it's possible that the evil hacker could cache poison the cache and switch out the IP address of what you thought was your bank server, and you would be going to an alternative server which looks exactly like the bank, and it's proxying to maybe even the real bank server, and you don't know as they steal your password in line.
But signing is critically important. So how does global server load balancing, where there could be multiple answers to that question, to the DNS lookup, how does that then work with the DNS signing and DNSSEC?
Right, so if you have a zone that you want to sign, in the Infoblox side, it's pretty straightforward. It's a one-button zone signing. However, if you want to do global load balancing, the answer will change on the fly, and therefore you need a F5 GTM to auto-sign that zone information or that record information on the fly so that the client can validate that it is actually correct and that the client is routed to the most appropriate data center for delivery of content.
And so finally, you've been here at the Agility Conference over a couple of days. I'm just curious of your impressions of the partner conference.
I think it's been great. I'm really impressed by the number of people at the show and the interest they have in both Infoblox and our joint solutions. It's better than most of the events that we do. It's probably the best event we've done this year.
And so how can people find you guys online?
www.infoblox.com.
And then follow you on Twitter?
Oh, Cricket Lou, that would be the best person to follow on Twitter. He's our leading DNS expert. He is a great person to follow on Twitter, and we also have other social media, Facebook, things like that, and YouTube.
And they can then find that off Infoblox.com, obviously.
Yes, of course, very straightforward.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Andy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a great show.
And so for Andy at Infoblox and Jamie, camera guy for F5, I'm Peter Silva, and I'm with F5 Networks. Thanks for watching.